Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cold Reads, episode 30. I am your host, Laura Nicole, and this show is brought to you by Resonant Audiobook Solutions. Today is the last chapter of Stonebriar Casefiles, and I really hope that you all have enjoyed it so far. Today, I'm just going to read the chapter and talk about voicing the chapter. And then tomorrow, I'm pretty much going to be doing a review of what happened. I'll try and get some of the cast back and just to talk about their experience and what they think of this project. And who am I? I'm Laura Nicole. I also go by Spence. To sum up what I do, by day, I research educators for testing committees, and then in the evenings, I review audiobooks for consistency, for matching the script. I do the same for podcasts, and I also do production on podcasts and audiobooks. And occasionally I do some voice acting, like here, and I host this show. I'm a little bit subdued because this is kind of a bittersweet thing, and it's the last episode or the last chapter of my book, and I really hope that you've enjoyed it. This has kind of been it's been a great experience to be able to share my book with you this way while I'm still in the process of producing the book in a format that I'm happy with. So without further ado, I will, as I always do, go ahead and share the script. And here is chapter 22. Later that night, I sat in my newly opened office. The oversized chair and computer and all of my fairy-sized equipment was neatly back in place. There was a box on my desk. "Hey, Max," I called as I saw Rice leaving the office. "Any idea who this is from?" "It was delivered while you were at the courthouse. The hounds didn't find anything on it, and no explosive elements." "Thanks. Have a good night." I considered the box for a while longer. The brown packaged paper was clean, and it had an address from Troll's Hollow. I opened the remaining encasement to find my very own troll and goblin made lie detecting box. Green runes covered every inch of the outside, and there was a white note sticking out from the center corner. It read, "I hope you like the color." I smiled, knowing that I would probably spend hours admiring the box tonight when I got home to my handsome elf. The box was perfect. Every inch of exposed wood was polished brightly, and the metal that hung onto it was a bright brass. As I opened it, the true beauty of the red mahogany shone, even in my dimly lit office. The polish shined so that I could almost imagine just using it as decoration. Sighing, I knew that I wouldn't. There were too many instances where I would have need of a good lie detector. But there was still one thing I had left to do. I turned on my voice recorder and made the necessary notes of the case. Stonebriar Case File 182. Notes. Detective John M. Haggerty, Sr., died at the courthouse during his trial on 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. He died after several attempts of resuscitation by paramedics. The cause of death is under investigation, but there was a suspicious blue mark that had made its way up Haggerty's neck. His last words stated that he had been cursed. The discoloration on his neck could support that claim if no medical report can explain it. Samples of his blood have been sent to toxicology for screening. If there is someone else, they likely used Haggerty because of his position and life revelations. I will have to consult with the magical elders to see if there was a way to detect if he was under the influence of mind control or acted of his own volition. I made several notes about actions that needed to be taken the next day. First, I would send 2 missives to. I really needed a better way to contact them. The first would be to Jack, and the second would be to the elders. The clock on the computer read 11 p.m. It had been a long day. I stopped recording for the night. Tomorrow was another day. So that's a very short chapter, but I feel like it wrapped up the story pretty well. And I feel like I was tripping up on my words because I didn't want it to be over. Or, as sometimes happens when you're finishing a project, you trip on your words because you're so eager to get to the end. But yeah, that's Stonebriar Casefiles, and this is episode 30. Made it. Tomorrow will be the last day of the dog days of podcasting. So I will talk a little bit about where we go from there tomorrow. So if you would like to learn more about me, you can follow me on Twitter at Laura Nicole Audio. You can check out my website, Resonant Moon Audiobook Solutions, which is at resonantmoon.com. And you can see the different things I do there. As I said, I do quality control and production on both audiobooks and podcasts. And if you want to be on the show, for future shows, we're going to have short stories from authors. And if I don't have enough of those, then I guess I will either have to write some or get them from the public domain. And getting them from the public domain is probably where I'm going to go first. But if you want in on it, there are a couple of ways that you can let me know. The first is you can email me. The email is Laura Nicole Audio, LauraNicoleAudio @gmail.com. And you can also email me if you want to be an actor on this show. I would love to have more people be on it. I would love to meet some voice actors who have never done voice acting before, because I feel like that's a good way. This is a good way to get started. Let's see. The other way to get in touch and let me know that you're interested is through our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/cold reads, all one word, and that's reads plural. If you enjoyed this book and you would like to read it and have a copy of your own, and really, it's so pretty. I had the cover done by Starla Hutchton many years ago when I was first releasing the preface to it as an audiobook or as an audio short story. So now it's a little novella, and it's pretty. It's actually about 50,000 words, maybe a little bit more. It was a NaNoWriMo project. But you can do that on Amazon. Yes, Munchkin, I know you don't want this to be over either. To the book, Munchkin, you're not helping. The link to the book is on the show notes. And it's available both in paperback and in EPUB. And I do want to let you know that this show is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 4.0 International License. That means that you can download it, you can share it, you can repost it. Just make sure that you link back to this YouTube page and don't change it, because it's perfect the way it is, just like you. Thank you so much for listening and for sticking with me through this story. I look forward to bringing your stories to the table and your voices through more cold reads. I think cold reads are a good time, especially when you have more than one person, because you get some of the funniest mistakes, first of all. You're really not helping. You get some of the funniest mistakes, but you also get some real magic and chemistry from a live read with another person. So I think that would be fun to do if you wanted to submit your story or to try this out for the first. So that's it for me today. I know it's a super short episode, and I will be back tomorrow with a real post-mortem and next steps of what's going to happen with cold reads now that August is almost over. Thanks again for sticking with me, and good night, everybody.